This is the Eastern Idaho Weather Hazard Briefing for Saturday, October the 25th. Key points to go through is that we're looking for windy conditions to develop this afternoon and some showers to move into central and eastern Idaho this afternoon. We do have rain and snow moving into the central mountains this morning as well. Potentially, we've had some changes in the forecast, and now potentially Sunday looks like it could be kind of a wet day across much of southern and eastern Idaho. A lot of devils in the details here, and just trying to figure out exactly how this system is going to come together for us. But initially, we were thinking Sunday might be a bit of a drier day. Now it looks like that might be changing. Still looking at heavy snow accumulations possible across the central mountains, mainly above 7,000 feet. And we're still looking for some minor snow accumulations possible for the highlands and eastern highlands and southern highlands, and possibly maybe into the Snake Plain. But most of these snow accumulations will be above 6,000 feet. The weather risk outlook, we have downgraded the impacts for the Sawtooth area, mainly because of the snow levels. We think it's going to be mainly pretty high, up above 7,000 feet. So it's really looking for low, light to heavy snow in both the Wood River area and Sawtooth area. And then also now looks like Monday will be a little bit drier across much of the region as well, with dry weather setting up for next week. So our weather alerts, we do have winter weather advisories that are in effect for portions of central mountains, generally in the mountains around Stanley and Ketchum, and also we do think there will be some difficult traveling across Galena Summit across the weekend. Current satellite image, you see our storm system starting to advance into Idaho, and our high temperatures today still pretty mild out ahead of a cold front that will arrive this afternoon. Looking at temperatures in the 50s to right around 60 degrees across southern and eastern Idaho, with temperatures in the 40s back across the central mountains. Chances of precipitation today very high across portions of central mountains, where they'll see the onset of the precipitation first. And then we'll start seeing some showers work their way across eastern Idaho later this afternoon and this evening. Rainfall amounts, heaviest amounts back across the central mountains, where 1/4 to 1/2 inch is possible of rainfall equivalent. Snowfall totals for today, generally looking at about 3 to 4 inches possible, mainly up on Galena Summit. And wind gusts this afternoon, we are looking for pretty breezy conditions across much of the area as that front comes through later this afternoon. Could see some wind gusts, 25 to 35 miles per hour possible across the Snake Plain and maybe into the Magic Valley a little bit. Stronger winds likely up across the central mountains, especially in the mountain upper slopes and the ridges. We'll definitely see some higher winds up that way. Not too breezy down across southeast Idaho, but still some 20 to 25 mile per hour gusts likely there. As we move into the nighttime hours, you see lows tonight generally expected to be in the 30s across southern and eastern Idaho, with teens and 20s expected across the central mountains. And looking at fairly high chances of precipitation tonight, although once again it looks like this might be more during the overnight hours and not so much this evening. Expected precipitation tonight, looking at fairly light amounts across the Snake Plain and Magic Valley. We'll start seeing some better rainfall amounts potentially across the eastern highlands once again after midnight, and then same thing up in the central mountains with the next wave of moisture due to arrive. Expected snowfall tonight, generally our stronger, our colder air is still up north, and so that's where we're going to see the better snowfall accumulations. An additional 1 to 2 inches is likely up around Stanley, with 4 to 6 possible on Galena Summit. And then wind gusts this evening, still pretty breezy across much of the area. We could have 25 to 35 mile per hour gusts, really just about anywhere in the region this evening. And then as we go to the overnight hours, still going to stay rather breezy, but still looking at probably 20 to 30 mile per hour gusts even during the overnight hours tonight. As we go into tomorrow, you see cooler temperatures across the region, with 40s likely for the Snake Plain and Magic Valley, and upper 30s to low 40s for the high country. And chances of precipitation tomorrow, you see still pretty high. A little bit more uncertainty in the Snake Plain and Magic Valley because we're seeing different solutions arise in terms of exactly where this next band of moisture could set up. So this could actually be very underdone for rainfall chances for eastern Idaho tomorrow. It could end up being a lot higher. So there's a lot of uncertainty in the forecast as we move into tomorrow. Right now, our expected precipitation amounts, you see the rainfall amounts have increased. Now looking at potentially up to 1/4 of an inch of rainfall just during the day tomorrow now for places like Blackfoot and Pocatello and down by Burley. But still looking at pretty decent amounts in the eastern highlands and potentially the central mountains as well. And then expected snowfall tomorrow, we are starting to see the snow levels drop during the day tomorrow, and so an inch or two is still likely up in the central mountains, but potentially some heavier amounts up in the Island Park area and especially in the hills up above 6,000 feet in the southern highlands and eastern highlands as well. Could be see as much as 4 to 6 inches in some of those places, but it'll be probably mid and upper slopes in those areas. Highest wind gusts as we go through tomorrow, still rather breezy, probably 20 to 30 mile per hour gusts across the region tomorrow. And then low temperatures for tomorrow night, once again chilly, with temperatures falling back into the teens in the central mountains, 20s for the highlands, and lower 30s for the Snake Plain and Magic Valley. Chances of precipitation tomorrow night still rather high as this system works through the region. And though the additional rainfall amounts right now look like they'll be heaviest up in the Island Park and Driggs area, and additional snowfall amounts for tomorrow night, another 1 to 2 inches up in the central mountains, with basically another 1 to 3 inches in the Island Park and Driggs region. Could see potentially up to 4 to 6 inches up on Pine Creek Pass, and certainly some heavier amounts going over Teton Pass into Wyoming as well. And portions of southeast highlands, southeast Idaho could see 1 to 3 inches down in the lower elevations and potentially up in the Wasatch Range, maybe 4 inches or so possible there as well. So as we go to look at wind gusts for tomorrow night, still looking at breezy conditions, mainly in the evening hours. Potential gusts up to about 25 miles per hour tomorrow evening. And then as we move into Monday, cool temperatures continue with highs basically expected to be in the 30s for the high country and low to mid 40s in the Snake Plain and Magic Valley. Chances of precipitation starting to wind down as that system departs our region. Highest chances are basically in the Island Park and Driggs region, and that's where we see our better rainfall equivalent amounts as well, and our best chances for additional snowfall on Monday. And wind gusts still rather breezy Monday afternoon, probably 15 to 25 mile per hour wind gusts on Monday afternoon as well. And then as we go into low temperatures for Monday night, 9 degrees is what we're calling for low in Stanley. So the colder air is definitely arriving, and then everyone should be below freezing tomorrow for Monday night. Chance of precipitation for Monday night, there's still a stray shower possible across the eastern highlands and central mountains. Not a big deal, though. That'll probably be in the evening. You see no rainfall amounts are expected, and no snowfall amounts are expected Monday night. So for the whole event, potentially now for Pocatello, we could see 1/4 to 1/2 an inch of rain, and I wouldn't be surprised if potentially we see the amounts end up increasing for Blackfoot and Idaho Falls as well. Just depends upon exactly how this system evolves going into late tonight and tomorrow, and there's been unfortunately a lot of uncertainty that's come out of that. Heaviest precipitation that we feel pretty strongly about will still be mainly in the central mountains, but the eastern highlands could see up to 1/2 an inch as well. And then if you turn this over to snowfall amounts, you see light accumulations possible for the eastern highlands, mainly above 6,000 feet. And it's really when you start getting above 6,500, 7,000 feet is really when you start seeing the heavier snowfall accumulations possible. And that's where we have the advisories out for the central mountains up there. And then we could potentially maybe see some advisories out for parts of the Wasatch Range, and then maybe for Pine Creek Pass over by Swan Valley, and maybe potentially in the Island Park area for some of the hills around there, where in Island Park, for instance, we're calling for about 3 to 5 inches right now. But a lot of uncertainty still, so the forecast unfortunately still in the process of coming together, and we're still trying to get our hands around it. So just to summarize, windy conditions are expected this afternoon with some showers moving through the region. Potentially wet for Sunday now, and as well going into early part of Monday. Heavy snow accumulation is still pretty likely across the Central Mountains, above 7,000 feet. Minor accumulations likely for the highlands and possibly into the Snake Plain above 6,000 feet. So that concludes this morning's briefing. And if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.